Johnny knew a man named Hal Prince, and Hal Prince was about to do a show with George Abbott. Hal was only a producer then, and that show was called Floor of the Red Menace, and it was based on a book called Love Is Just Around the Corner, which Hal asked us to read. It was all very kind of thrilling, you know, to even be in that, the possibility of that atmosphere. And we read the book, and we wrote 4 or 5 songs on spec for the Red Menace. And we played them for Hal, who then asked us if we'd audition for Mr. Abbott, which we did. We'd had other things too. There was a whole score to a musical that a friend of mine who I knew socially, a guy called Richard Morris, wrote. He was the author of The Unsinkable Molly Brown and the Loretta Young shows, and he was like a kind of a big wheel, very impressive to me. And he had a show called Golden Gate about the rebuilding of San Francisco. And he showed it to us, and we loved it. We loved everything, you know, anything that would give us a chance to write. And we wrote a whole score for Golden Gate. And when we went in to play for Mr. Abbott, that's what we played. We played the whole score of Golden Gate. And later on is when we played the songs for Floor of the Red Menace. I think we kept them, wanted him to know. There's a wonderful story about Irving Berlin. I don't know if it's true or not, but they asked him to come up with a big song for Call Me Madam, and he said he'd go home and think about it. And then he went to his trunk and pulled out You're Just in Love, but he didn't show him that. He waited like 2 days, so it would look really hard. And then he came back and he said he'd been struggling over this song, and what do you think about it? And of course, it's wonderful. And we kind of did the same, in my memory, with Flora, the score of Flora. We held that back, so that, because we knew Hal liked it. So chances are pretty good that Mr. Abbott would like it. A lot of those songs were cut, too. We wrote a load of songs for Floor of the Red Menace.